Hi guys, my name is Chika Jones and welcome back to my YouTube channel, right? It's been a while, but it's great to finally be able to do this again. When I started, I knew consistency was going to be a problem, but I had no idea how big of a problem it was going to be. But I'm glad to finally be back, and today we're going to have some fun, right? So before we kick off the review, don't forget today I'll be reviewing this book, Tomorrow Died Yesterday by Chimeka Garrix. And as usual, there's a written version of the review on my website, that's chikajones.com. I'm going to drop the link below, right? So also do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to comment, and do not forget to tell your friends about this channel. Tomorrow Died Yesterday is 292 pages long and was written by the Nigerian lawyer Chimeka Garrix. Now, funny thing is, the last book I reviewed, Millions of the Ones Who Are Reign, was also written by Nigerian lawyer Chioma Achalugo Ezekobe. You should check out that book review. Now, this book was written in 2009. So I'm about 11 years late for this review, but it is such a good book, I could not pass it up, right? So let's get into it. Now, it is easy to think this book is about love because we definitely see one or two love stories right there. It is easy to think it's about kidnapping, right? Because it's a kidnapping that sets the tone for the entire story. It is also easy to think it's about the oil boom, right? Because oil in the Niger Delta is a central theme of the book. But while it is about all these many things, the main plot, the main thread that ties it all together is how we all react to the Nigerian condition, right? Nigeria as it is, how do various people react to it? That is what I see as a common thread in this story. So we see four boys born in the Niger Delta. They're born in a fictional fishing village called Asiama. And they're born around 1970. Around the same time, oil was discovered, right? And the village is like one of the major points where an oil company decides to set up. So how does this affect their lives? As they grow into men, what happens? As their lives separate, how does it come back together? Those are the central themes that this book looks into. I do not think Chimeka Garrix could have picked a better style to tell this story, because he uses the first person point of view but then adds a twist to it because each character has pages to tell their own story. So for example, if you open to chapter 6, you will see the top is Amaidi, and this is Amaidi telling his own part of the story. And then if you move to chapter 7, it's Kaniye telling his own part of the story, and then on and on and on. So Amaidi, Doye, Kaniye, Tubo have pages to tell their own story. I first saw this style in Violence, right? Written by Festus Iyayi, and I loved it, right? Because what it does is it really builds out the characters in your mind. You can hear their own voice, you can hear their own language. Also, something else it does is, while building a fictional world, it borrows elements from the real world to prop that fictional world up so it looks almost real. An example of someone that does this also very well is Robert Langdon, right? So if you're a fan of Robert Langdon's books, he wrote the Da Vinci Code, right? So in the Da Vinci Code, he borrows aspects from the real world. So sometimes you have yourself checking maps to see if this place actually exists, right? So it is similar to what Chimeka Garrix does in this book. While Asiama is a fictional town, its origin story, the fact that it's set in the Niger Delta, the way it tells it makes it look almost real. Also, when it talks about the army raid on Asiama, it brings back memories of the army raid and massacre in Odi, Bayelsa in 1999. So when he also speaks about Imperial Oil in Port Harcourt, you know he's talking about Shell Oil in Port Harcourt, right? So what this technique does is it brings the story fully to life. You can touch, you can hear the places, you can feel the emotions, right? And this believability in fiction is what makes this book a fave, right? So to write a good story, you have to learn to rewrite as much as possible, right? It is in the rewriting of the story that the magic usually jumps out. Now, the Nigerian American writer Teju Cole once said that rewriting a story or editing a story is almost like writing music, because you can move paragraphs to fit better in certain places as you figure out the cadence of the story. So reading Tomorrow Died Yesterday is like reading fast-paced music, right? Because you can see that the cadence is fast, slow, up, down, up, down, up, down, so we are breathless, right, in anticipation for what's going to happen next, right? So for example, the book opens on a kidnap scene, right? They're kidnapping someone on the water, guns blazing, it's like something out of an action movie, and then quickly it moves into a boardroom, right, where people are seated around a table and talking, right? And something else similar happens when Tubo is telling people a story about Thunder Balogun, and the crowd in the stadium is shouting, and it's a loud scene, and then you move into the scene where the boys are just on the beach chilling, right? Or something similar also happens when you're in the courtroom scene and it's heated. It's like something out of How to Get Away with Murder, right? And then moves into a restaurant where two people are just sitting down in the evening listening to calm music while eating, right? So this beautiful cadence, this up down fast way of writing is what makes this book especially spectacular, and it really works. Now, another thing Tomorrow Died Yesterday has is characterization, right? 9 years after I read this book for the first time, the characters are still very clear in my head, right? It's almost as if Mr. Garrix built out each character the same way you build out a player in a PlayStation Soccer. So if you are familiar with PlayStation Soccer, you can build out the character and give them specific characteristics, right? So it's almost as if he has a book where it has written Kanye at the top, and then you have bald, suave, good looking, can cook, like, and he has that for all the characters. And then something that he does is go a step further by solidifying these characteristics with little stories, right? So for example, on pages 70 and 71 of this book, there's a scene, right? The boys are chilling on the beach, a crab crawls by, right? So as the crab is crawling by, Doye picks up a stick and kills the crab for no reason at all. Amaibi is pissed, right? He jumps up, collects the stick from Doye, and is about to hit him with it, right? Kanye tries to diffuse the situation by saying, Amaibi, give me the stick before you kill our Hercules, right? While two boys ignoring everybody, right? That little scene tells you the kind of person that these four boys are. It brings out their characters quite well, and that's not the only time he does it. He does this with little stories throughout the book, right? Sometimes though, the dialogue can get a little tricky in the book, right? So you hear Doye say something in the book and you're like, that doesn't sound like Doye. But even that flaw in dialogue tells you how good the characterization is, so that you even know how somebody should have spoken in the book, right? So if you've read the book, or even if you haven't, go and read it. I would like to answer a question for me, right? We know what the condition of Nigeria is. And with this book, Chimeka Garrix has been able to show us different ways people react to the condition of Nigeria. And the thing is, in the different ways each character reacts, we can find a piece of ourselves. Some of us can relate to even more than one of the characters. Or some of us say, okay, this person is definitely me. That ability to relate to the characters is what makes the book unforgettable. So my question is, against the backdrop of the Nigerian condition as it is right now, who are you? Right? Are you Tubo, who says, this is why I lie, because people cannot handle the truth? Have you given up and you are just focused on securing the bag? Or are you Kanye, who tries to strike a balance, right? Who accepts blood money to build a restaurant, enjoys the good things of life, yet when his friends need help, he steps in? Do you know when to fight and when to back away? Or are you Amaibi, who is timid, constantly second-guessing himself, so focused on doing the right thing no matter what? Or are you Doughboy, Doye Koko, right? A realist who realizes that there's no point trying to change Nigeria, so he joins in the looting, while secretly, even without knowing it, wants change. So thanks for watching, guys. I would really like to know your answer to that question. So read the book and tell me which of the characters you believe you are. You can't choose more than one. You can only choose one character this time. For the sake of this exercise, I want to see something. Also, I am taking suggestions for the next book I want to review. So if you know a book you want me to review, please drop it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. And you can also read the review, like I said earlier, on my website, chikajones.com. See ya.
Your Range Rover, oh yeah, rum pa pa bum, rum pa pa bum, oh yeah, leave me now. I wanna say rum pa pa bum, rum